All right, a very good evening. Welcome to tonight's News Focus. And like we always do, it's a Thursday. We give you the opportunity, we give you the space to also join us and talk to us. Today, we'll be looking at a very special thing that happened today, the launch of the ICOM platform by the Postal and Courier Service Regulator Commission was done today. We'll bring up some of the snipes of issues that happened there. I will be getting the board chair also speaking open and closing remarks on the launching. The sector minister also speaking on the score. The secretary, the executive, the acting executive secretary as well, also speaking on the matter. So we go to the PCRC today. It's part of our programming for tonight, part of the production that we're running through tonight till 10 p.m. where we take a leave of you. So we go to all the snipes of places and then all the people that matter, the shakers and the movers of the nation, and that important work that was done by the Postal and Courier Service. And we'll talk more about it. They've introduced a data platform, the ICOMS GH, to regulate and modernize Ghana's courier and logistics industry. All postal courier delivery and logistic operators, including local and international, as well as individual motorcycles, tricycle, and bicycle couriers, must register on the platform. Registration is open from now to the 31st of March 30, 2026. And I'll tell you about the code *928 *007 hash, which you can use on all the platform to get registered onto the platform. So we'll go to the place to bring you all the latest from that story as well, where we get the sector minister and speaking with us on it. So we will do that. And today being the 12th of March 2026, I want to say a big thank you for joining us here on today's edition of the News Focus, live and direct from it. But let's pick some snipes of some stories, some top stories where the Ghana's Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa has hinted that Ghana played a role in the U.S. Christmas Day airstrike in Nigeria, stating that the U.S. only conducted ISR mission from Ghana. Ghana will introduce a new gold royalty regime on Tuesday, despite opposition from the Western government and mining executives, with a sliding scale rate of 12%, between 5 to 12%, when gold hits 4,500 per ounce. Ghana submitted a UN resolution recognizing transatlantic slavery as the gravest crime in the history of humankind and calling for reparation, expecting broad support. In politics, the President John Dramani Mahama has strengthened Ghana-South Korea relations during a historic visit, focusing on the maritime security and investment. Remember, the President will be at the Yale University later tomorrow. The minority in parliament has condemned the attack on Ghanaian peacekeepers in Lebanon, calling for an investigation. Now we do some business. Sorry, Ghana's gold refinery has kick-started operation, but Galamsey Gold risk shutting out the premium buyers. The National Petroleum Authority, NPA, assures sufficient fuel stocks despite global market concerns. And in sports, Ghana's volleyball team is rising with calls for corporate support ahead of the Cover B Zone 3 Championship. And Shatta Wale has collaborated with John Legend on a new single, I and Nobody. And Nobody. And from the Shatta, who's collaborating with John Legend on that new single, Ain't Nobody. Ain't Nobody. You know that song, isn't it? Oh my. So we'll bring you all this nice of story tonight in focus, and I'll bring you some other top stories that has made headline, and we go into some more conversation where where there's a story that has come out that the Sukudai cocktail may pose serious kidney and liver risk. For those of you who like, the National Security has launched a special operation to raid the streets of Kumasi of a popular toxin cocktail sold as a heart cleanser. It comes as a preliminary investigation by the Department of Pharmacology at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology KNUST revealed that the herbal concoction known in Hausa as Maduro Sukudai contains substance harmful to the human health. Madara Sukudai until now has endured itself to many Ghanaians, especially the youth. It is believed to contain heart-cleaning potency by patrons of the drink. The concoction is commonly known in zongos and auto mechanic shops. It is often sold by some Nigerian nationals and sometimes Ghanaians. However, an acute toxicity test conducted by the Department of Pharmacology at the KNUST reveals the drink is toxin, as it was found to contain acetone, zinc chloride, and also ethanol. All laboratory rates determine low, medium, and high doses of the chemical used to prepare the concoction dies within 24 hours, raising health concerns. So if you've bought any of that, please just discard it for health and security reasons. The numbers on the screen is the numbers. You can also join us on 053-715-8638 is the numbers. You can also join us and let's have a conversation. And tonight, a news focus. He said, I will be surprised if Ghanaians think Mahama using his brother's jet comes at no cost to the state, Asafo Ejay. The deputy ranking member on Parliamentary Foreign Affairs Committee, Nana Asafo Ejay, IS, says he would be surprised if Ghanaians believe that the president, John Dramani Mahama, traveling on a private jet owned by his brother does not impose any cost of the country. The legislature questioned the continued use of a private aircraft belonging to a businessman, Ibrahim Mahama, for the president's special travels. And according to him, the matter has become a public debate partly because members of the current administration previously criticized the travel arrangement of former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo when they were in opposition. The harder the issue becomes, the wilder you have to look at it. Now let's go we'll go into some other matters, and the matters we're going to look at is to look at the cause, the places of cause, what issue happened. Let's go to the minority with the story I just read about the air issue and then whether it's appropriate. As a minority challenges government over the U.S. airstrike against terrorists. The minority in parliament is challenging government over allegations that it authorized the U.S. to use the Ghanaian territory for airstrikes against terrorist groups in Nigeria. The minority claimed that the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa disclosed this information during the discussion on the Chatham House in London, and they are demanding that he appear before the parliament to explain the circumstances surrounding the alleged collaboration. The minority raised the concerns about the legal basis of the collaboration, citing Article 75 of Ghana's Constitution, which requires parliamentary approval for international agreement. They also worried about the potential security implications, including the risk of retaliatory attack from the terrorist organization. The former Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwul has supported the minority call for clarification, stating that the previous defense cooperation agreement between Ghana and the U.S. didn't permit the use of Ghana's territory for military strike. Let's go to the floor of Parliament and take a listen to the minority for this clarion call.
There are very important questions to be asked. Firstly, what is the framework within which the Ghanaian government collaborated with the United States of America? We are reliably informed and we are reliably guided by the former Minister of Defense, who is on my right-hand side here, that at no stage in the 8 years of the Akufo-Addo administration did the government of Ghana get into any agreement with the United States to have Ghana be used as a base for launching military attacks in other foreign countries. So at what stage and through what legal mechanism or framework did our government collaborate and agree with the government of the United States of America to unleash a military action and airstrikes against a terrorist organization in a foreign country, Nigeria? That is the first question. The second question, if the government of Ghana entered into any such agreement with the government of the United States of America, the dictates and tenets of our national constitution are express and clear that such agreements must necessarily elicit parliamentary approval. And so if there was any such agreement, why has the government as yet not tabled that agreement before the Parliament of Ghana for ratification or otherwise? Thirdly, what are the national security implications for our country with this kind of collaboration? Does Ghana become a target of ISIS? Does Ghana become a target for other terrorist organizations? What measures have been put in place in Ghana to ensure that our citizens are protected and our national security is safeguarded? And so what measures has the government put in place in the light of this extraordinary disclosure by the foreign minister, a very high-ranking official of the government and a member of the National Security Council of the government, that our government, on the blind side of all of Ghana, the media, civil society, parliament, and other stakeholders in our country, collaborated and cooperated with the United States in December last year, some 3 clear months ago, to authorize a military action from Ghanaian soil into a foreign country against a terrorist organization? What measures have they put in place to protect Ghanaians? These are the 3 fundamental questions we ask. And we conclude by making this strong and firm demand that the Minister for Foreign Affairs should appear before Parliament immediately to brief Parliament the circumstances under which the Mahama administration collaborated with the United States to perpetuate this military action in Nigeria, and what framework, legal framework, was it that they took this action, and table it before Parliament for the consideration of Parliament. And finally, to give the Ghanaian people the needed assurance that Ghana is not being unnecessarily exposed to terrorist organizations.
All right, so welcome back. So you had a minority in Parliament with a demand of minim say Foreign Minister Nano Nako or Kasa Chatham House in London, their minim, but the minority is asking that question. Now let's move to the Postal and Courier Service Regulatory Commission has introduced a digital platform, ICOMS-UA, to regulate and modernize Ghana's courier and logistic industry. All postal, courier, delivery, and logistics operators, including local and international companies, as well as individual motorcycle, tricycle, bicycle carriers, must register on the platform. Registration is open till the 31st of March 2026. Applicants can initiate the process by dialing the USSD code *928 #007 *928 *007 #, or maybe say hello to a WhatsApp line 059611611 0596311 or visit the Commission's website on Gov. Applicants must select registration indicates whether they operate as a company or a single biker. Upon successful submission, operators will receive a PCRC rider ID and a digital operation license number and a QR code sticker via WhatsApp. The platform aims to improve service quality, provide security and trust, encourage the use of technology to promote transparency and accountability. All incident reporting features allow consumers to lodge complaints and report operational challenges. Any courier or delivery operator who fails to register by the deadline will be deemed to be operating illegally. Now let's take a listen to the Sector Minister of Communication, Digitization and Innovation in the person of Samuel Nartey George. The directives comes after the introduction of Integrated Courier and Logistics Management System, Ghana, that's ICOMS Ghana, a new digital platform intended to improve regulation of the courier and logistics industries while strengthening Ghana's growing e-commerce environment. Speaking at the launch of the platform on Thursday, March 12, the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nartey George, indicated that operators have been granted a limited window to comply with the new regulatory requirement. He explained that all courier service providers, including individual delivery riders, have up until March 31st, 2026 to complete their registration and integration into the ICOM Ghana platform.
If you remember when I met you in August, I stated that the Commission had till the end of the year to build a platform. So basically, I gave the Commission some 3 or 4 months to build a platform. I met you, I think, on the 30th or 31st of December and showed you the demo platform and how it had been developed and gave further inputs for them to go and execute. But if you remember at that meeting, I stated that the moratorium was going to run till the 31st of March. In line with that, once we've launched the ICOMS today, the grace period runs from today, 12th of March, until 31st of March, 2026. This gives you exactly 19 days, whether you are a company or a single biker, to register on the ICOMS GH platform. All existing courier companies have that same period to onboard and integrate their systems with ICOM's digital platform.
He further noted that companies currently operating in the sector are also required to integrate their internal system with a newly launched digital platform within the same period. Samuel Nartey George cautioned that operators who fail to comply with the directive will face regulatory penalties once enforcement begins.
All existing courier companies have that same period to onboard and integrate their systems with ICOM's digital platform. If you fail to do that, it will attract regulatory sanctions. Enforcement, in conjunction with Chief Supo Obeng and his people at Ghana Police Service, will start effective 1st of April 2026. And so, Executive Secretary, from the 1st of April 2026, you have the full mandate of the ministry to work with law enforcement, Ghana Police Service, to begin a nationwide crackdown on all defaulters. And on this one, I make you a solemn pledge. I will not intervene, and there will be no moratorium. So please comply. There will be no excuses to give this time. We've given ourselves a long time. And let's be quick to add, I went as far as giving almost a 50% rebate on their registration fee. So really, I want the plane to pass so that you hear what I'm saying well. We gave a 50% discount on registration. So really, there is no excuse. We've given ourselves 7 months, a 50% discount. I urge you, please comply.
The minister called that enforcement actions against unlicensed courier operators had previously been suspended in August 2025 to allow stakeholders time to prepare for the digital regulatory system. However, he stressed that the introduction of ICOMS Ghana means operators can no longer delay compliance with the law. And still with the PCSRC, the launch that was done, the ICOMS, a platform that was advertised today. Like I said, you can pick your phone as a single biker, you can as an entity, and you also put a *928*007 hash, or you can WhatsApp 0596 33611 0596 111 No, that's 341, sorry, 341 611. That's 6111 611 059. Or you go to their website and then you say hello to this line and then you get it. Now let's pick the closing comment from the chairman of the board of the Post and Courier Regulatory Commission in the person of Bishop Noble Afote Odai.
As we come to the end of this important lunch, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to everyone who made today's event possible. The introduction of ICOMS GH marks a significant step towards strengthening regulation, improving efficiency, and bringing greater organization to Ghana's courier and dispatch sector under the leadership of the Postal and Courier Service Regulatory Commission. I encourage all courier companies and riders across the country to embrace this platform and work together with the Commission to build a safer, more professional, well-regulated industry. I also wish to thank our partners, SIC Live, and the media partners, especially MBN TV, who cover the whole program live, for their role in helping to inform, educate the public about this important initiative. On behalf of the organizers, I thank you all for your presence, your support, and your commitment to the growth of Ghana's courier service sector. Have a safe journey back to your destinations, and may God Almighty bless you all.
And so the lunch was done today at the premises of the Postal Service and Courier Regulatory Commission, and you heard the voice of the chairman of the commission, Bishop Noble Francis Afote Odai, wishing everybody well. We just hope and look forward that people will adhere to the new rules and also get it done. Now we're moving on from that sector from the PCRC. We move straight away to look at some other story where the minority in parliament is calling for the refund of 113 million Ghana cedis collected from unsuccessful applicants in the recent security services recruitment exercise. Reverend John Tim Fojo, the ranking member on Parliament's Defense and Interior Committee, ensures that the government exploited job seekers, collecting application fees from nearly 500,000 applicants despite only having 5,000 vacancies. The recruitment process has been criticized for being unfair, with some applicants facing technical and internet-related challenges during the aptitude tests. The minority is demanding an independent investigation into the recruitment process and refund of the 200 Ghana cedis application fee paid by each unsuccessful applicant. Let's take a watch and listen to the minority in Parliament.
Without a doubt, the structure of this recruitment exercise is akin to a Ponzi scheme, criminally crafted to defraud over 500,000, 500,000 unemployed innocent Ghanaian youth. Having widely made recruitment into the security services a major NDC campaign promise in 2024, over 506,000 Ghanaian youth responded to the government's call in 2025 and applied to join various security services under the Ministry of Interior, namely Ghana Police Service, Ghana Immigration Service, Ghana National Fire Service, and the Ghana Prison Service. These young men and women, full of hope and patriotism, were made to believe that they were being offered genuine opportunity to serve their country and secure a dignified livelihood. However, the Minister for Interior, in a press conference yesterday at this same venue, to the utter shock of the nation, indicated that only 5,000 applicants will be recruited from this enormous pool of applicants. This revelation has left hundreds of thousands of hopeful applicants devastated, disillusioned, and feeling exploited. The fundamental question that must be asked is this: if the government intended to recruit only 5,000 personnel, as the Minister for Interior disclosed yesterday, Why should the government go ahead to overpromise and lure over 506,000 unsuspecting young people to go through this costly and emotionally exhausting, unconscionable? Even more misleading and exploitative is the decision by this government, politically motivated decision, to increase recruitment age limits from 25 to 35 years. So as they were expanding the age limit from 25 in the previous status quo to 35, the signal to the whole Ghana is that now there's more space. So even additional 10-year-older people can apply. This policy shift trapped even more unemployed youth to apply. This government significantly expanded the applicant pool and heightened expectations among thousands of desperate but qualified young people seeking employment. Such a decision, ladies and gentlemen, was reckless, misguided, and intended to create the false impression of sufficient financial clearance to accommodate more applicants. We reiterate the cogent calls earlier made by the minority leader of the Minority Caucus, Honorable Osahin Alexander Kwamina Afenyomakin, and further call for the following urgent actions. Number one, and first, there must be an independent bipartisan probe into the entire centralized recruitment process for immediate and appropriate review before we continue. Number two, very, very importantly, responding to the plight of the 500,000 potential recruits who have been scammed, we demand the government must refund the application fees of 220 cedis per application form to all applicants who were disqualified through knocked out technology constraints, who were disqualified not because they did not qualify, but because of the problematic nature of their aptitude tests by the questionable recruitment process. They must all be restored to every amount they lost. And here, to put it in perspective, most of the applicants will tell you that they bought 2, 3, some even 4 forms to all the security agencies. So for the person who bought 3 forms to Ghana Police Service, to Immigration, and to Ghana Fire Service, such a person has lost 660 cedis, not to talk of the cost of traveling to recruitment.
All right, so you have the minority in parliament with regards to the unemployment situation and also the recruitment into the security agencies, and they're calling that the refund to be done to those who couldn't make it into the security services. An amount of 113 million Ghana cedis was raised from this. Now, it has come to the notice of the President, John Dramani Mahama's decision to use his brother's private jets for official travel has sparked controversy, with critics arguing it breaches is own code of conduct. The Member of Parliament for Walewale, Abdul Kabiru Tia Abdul Kabiru Tia Mahama stated that the arrangement raises significant ethical concerns and creates palpable conflict of interest. Franklin Cudjoe, the founding president of Imani, also criticized the president, saying the action sends conflict signals about the commitment to public service ethics. Cudjoe questioned why Mahama opted for his brother's jet when he had previously used commercial flights. Supporters of Mahama argue that the decision was driven by security concerns, citing unavailability of official presidential jet. Felix Kwasi Ofosu, acting presidential spokesperson, explained that the trip incurred no cost to the taxpayer. First, let's take a listen to Tia Mahama, a member of parliament for Walewale.
The president, who under the previous government in opposition spoke so much and spoke so vehemently against the former president using commercial flights and then embarking on trips. The argument that was advanced then was the fact that our presidential jet was not serviceable. But they argue strenuously and with the current foreign minister stating that the presidential jet was serviceable. Down the line, the president is found to be doing the very thing that they spoke against it. First, it's marks of conflict of interest. How will the president deny his brother an opportunity if the brother seeks to have the opportunity in the bauxite, in our mineral interest or any interest in our downstream mineral? The president cannot deny the brother because the brother is extending favor one way. In the first place, the potential conflict of using a private person presidential jet for official trips is apparent and is just clear. It's so clear for everyone to see. And now you are not using just any private person, you are using the presidential jet of your brother. So the palpable conflict of interest is there. There's also some ethical issues. If a president must live beyond reproach, that beyond reasonable, that people would not want to see any semblance of unethical consideration in your behavior. So the fact that the president is using the brother, it brings himself against his own code of conduct of public officials, because you spell out some code of conduct for your officials. They shouldn't put yourself in a conflict situation, and you are putting yourself right in the center of a conflict. So that is unethical, and I think that the president should have known better. There is no reason whatsoever. Even if there's the need for him to go, he could have gone on commercial flight. He can use business class. We want our president to be comfortable. But to go with your brother's flight, I will say with the greatest respect, the president has lost it, and it's actually a betrayal. The very same seems that they were blaming Nana Akufo-Addo for. They are repeating that in grand style.
Meanwhile, Franklin Cudjoe, the founding president of Imani, has also criticized the president, John Dramani Mahama, for using his brother's Ibrahim Mahama's private jet for official travel, calling it a breach of public code of conduct. Cudjoe argues that this action sends conflict signals about Mahama's commitment to fiscal responsibility and accountability, especially after he directed his appointees to justify all travels. Cudjoe is questioning why Mahama opted for his brother's private jet when he has previously used commercial flights, which was widely praised. He warned that this might revive perception of a dead goat syndrome, implying indifference to the public criticism. Remember, we just heard the MP for Walewale, Abdul Kabiru Tia Mahama, also accusing the president of breaching the code of conduct, citing potential conflict of interest. The president has explained that the trip incurred no cost to the taxpayer, but critics argue that transparency and justification are necessary. Let's take a listen to Franklin Cudjoe of Imani, Ghana.
I was mortified to hear again that does it go on jolly rice on this place or real work? Either way, look, we are not saying that Ibrahim's security may be bad or whatever, but you see, imagine we may have a scandal on our hands if it turns out that one day the president travels on the brother's jet, and God forbid something happens. We have to question him as a commander-in-chief. Whether it was good judgment to do that, we need to understand all of this. But the president will be protected beyond. Recently, he traveled commercially on a plane. Jubilee House released with fanfare and a gog of joy, released this video, and we were all clapping. That, okay, the president may have a problem with the plane, the private presidential jet, but flew commercial. And they accord you for all the respect they will, right? I mean, and they always do if you fly first class, so I am surprised. I don't know where this is coming from, but this is the second I've heard. And people are trying to rationalize it. It's free. It's not possible. Who told you it's free? Never assume that. Even the president was in a French private plane. Never assume that these things are free. Yes, Ibrahim does a few things for philanthropy, but hell no. This is the spirit of the president, and we do not want the president to be jumping from hopping from plane to plane, even if it belongs to the brother. And by the way, as the president tells everybody, his appointees, look to the north. Do not travel anyhow without economic justification. I don't go for courses that could be done here. Board appointees and all of that. What in God's name is the president jumping on the president, his brother's plane? That signals and sends wrong signals to the staff. In direct opposite to what I call his own proven, not yet proven by the way, his own sworn, what they call code of ethics. And I think that is wrong. It's wrong. The president should stop.
And as That's the voice of Imani, President of Africa, Franklin Kojo. Meanwhile, Felix Kwasi-Ofosu, the spokesperson for President John Mahama, has defended the president's use of his brother's Ibrahim Mahama's private jet, Jata, for official travel. Kwasi-Ofosu stated that the arrangement has not cost the Ghanaian taxpayer a dime, as the jet was provided free of charge. According to Kwasi-Ofosu, the decision to use a private jet was driven by unavailability of a reliable presidential aircraft, which is currently undergoing review by the Communications Squadron of the Ghana Air Force. He emphasized that Ghana's President Mahama is committed to prudent financial management and is mindful of Ghana's economic challenge. The minority in Parliament has criticized the president's use of the private jet, arguing it breaches his own code of conduct and raises concerns about accountability and transparency. Let's take a listen to Felix Kwasi-Ofosu, then we go to the phone lines so you can also share your thoughts with us tonight in News Focus.
And the problems it poses for operational efficiency, they would much prefer that government acquires a new presidential jet together with other equipment for the Air Force. Now, government heeded our advice and put before Parliament an agreement to procure the third jet. Parliament approved, and the process has begun for the procurement of that jet together with other aircraft. Indeed, only recently the first helicopter in that series of purchases arrived. But in between the time that the agreement was approved and the time that the aircraft will arrive, there is a need for the president to travel. So the president simply thought that rather than spend the taxpayers' money renting aircraft, he has a brother who has an aircraft that he had been using even when he was in opposition. That aircraft is available, and beyond fueling it and other charges, which do not necessitate paying for its rental, it is fit for purpose and it can be used. Indeed, the present aircraft is new, and everybody has seen that it belongs to the president's brother. The president's brother is a well-known businessman who started his business long before the president came to power. And therefore, if that aircraft is available and it will not cost the taxpayer tens of thousands of dollars an hour to rent it, the president thinks that it is a prudent thing to use as he waits for the more permanent solution of the new aircraft. So that is really what it is. The president does not rent that aircraft. He uses it for free, beyond paying for. Well, I've answered this question many, many times, and I believe you even interviewed me on it. So I'm surprised that you keep on asking when the answers have already been provided. The president does not rent that aircraft, so there's no need to pay for his rental beyond fueling it and some charges that may accrue due to landing rights and all that. That is about it. If the president rents an aircraft, he would have to pay for the rental, like President Akufo-Addo was doing, when at some point he was paying $18,000 an hour to rent this aircraft. And you see, the president's travel schedule is such that there are times when he has to make different hops in different countries. So he can travel to about 3-4 countries on the trot. And therefore, if you rent an aircraft for $18,000 an hour, you can imagine what the cost would be if the president has to use it for 4 or 5 days, like he is currently doing in South Korea. So the president is only saving the public purse and avoiding a situation where he has to pay considerable amounts of money to use rented aircraft, if this aircraft is available. And I heard you in your introduction say that the minority says they are concerned about the safety of the president. Surely the minority cannot be more concerned about the president's safety than himself. This is an aircraft that is fit for purpose. Let me indicate that before the president sits in any aircraft, the Communications Squadron of the Ghana Air Force would have to certify its safety. Indeed, the presidential jet is actually piloted on many occasions by the commander of the Air Force himself. And if the president happens to use an aircraft other than the presidential aircraft, the Communications Squadron checks it to make sure that it is fit for purpose and can achieve the operational aim.
So that was the voice of the presidential spokesperson, Felix Kwasi-Ofosu, throwing more light. So we've touched on several stories: minority challenging government over the U.S. airstrike against terrorists, refound 113 million Ghana cedis collected from unsuccessful applicants in Team Fojo to Interior Ministry. Mohammed's use of Brothers' private jets breaches his own code of conduct. Franklin Kujo slammed the president for using his own brother's jet for the latest travel. Felix Kwachio Fosu fires back at the minority over Jata private jet use. And then we went to the PCRC, where the new ICOMS platform was launched today by the Sector Minister Samuel Nete George. 053-715-8638 is the numbers you can call us now. Your reactions to the stories that has been churned out tonight, your reactions to all the stories, and then you share your thoughts with us. And when you call, make sure you turn the volume of your TV set down so we can have conversation on the phone, not via the TV. We can have the conversation on the phone. 053-715-8638. A number sounds so big to me.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, my brother. Your name, where reaching us live from?
My name is Isaac, calling from Kaswa.
Okay, Isaac, let's hear you.
Okay, please, can I ask a question? Please, I want to understand the MPP war. For God's sake, Ibrahim said the whole private jet is for all the Ghanaians, including everyone for emergency issues. So as when Akufo-Addo was the president, he did not use the presidential jet by using a private first class travel around the country. Meanwhile, we have the government private jet around. So now, why is it why is this MPP complaining that what Mr. President is doing using his brother's private jet is so bad for travel, for stuff? Why?
All right, thank you so much for adding your voice. 053-715-8638. Please, you can do us a favor. When you call, I beg you, turn the volume of your TV set down. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where reaching us live from?
My name is Prince Adekwan from Ashanti region.
Okay, Prince, into you, Yanko.
Okay. My problem is I don't understand the NPP. What is wrong with like the private jet that our president is using right now? I don't understand why the NPPs are jealous. And there's nothing wrong if my brother has private jet and I'm using it. What's wrong with it? So they should stop doing those propaganda and let the man do his work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All the way from Kumasi, also joining us on so to me, a friend, 60 seconds, so from Mesrel, the Pacho. No more TV in the volume, no, Akofom. Now you didn't come off phone, so Ke Ochawo, you want the OTV volume, Bashi, you will be a phone. Hello, good evening.
Yo, good evening, sir.
Good evening, my brother. Okay. Yet you.
Mr. contribution, yes, Mr. President, then I have that person for and I can even man. And I have found that all parties that was the afternoon a war everything. And I can one part everything at the private and what you to quite. And can accept that who did not have any before the car. That's what you win and see that. The prayer and after that question was wishing and at the party. And I can always use the aqua on my now. I said, Ben, I can use it. Can I papa? And then your mamma here. And so what a Padiana, your mamma is using. And in the yes, can say a come think another and I let so and I can wish any what the
Quite unfortunate, say Yensan can only win because our 60 seconds near call 053715. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I called from Kumasi.
Okay, your name?
My name is Boachi Adam Daniel.
Okay, Boachi Adam Daniel, let's hear you.
Okay. If this one should be the case, president traveling from Ghana to another country using their brother machine. If the president comes, anytime they travel to any part of the country, they must use their brother car so that everybody will understand. That's where I can say.
All right, thank you so much. I'm grateful for also joining us. Also, be me afraid. Share your thoughts with us. Let's get to hear you. 0537158638. Hello, good evening. Pacho, good evening. Pacho, dinner baby or free. Okay. Oh, Macho Casa, now you're from saying. Mamma love yentio.
Pacho, Master Moka, Mitty, want me tea. Mr. Shay, I have some like a empty make a sign. And I have a person come tea, meaning I appear here. Since me banana must you mean the way. So I went to make a sign. Mamma, what's more if I do tea? Yes, why? Get a must be.
And share that. Have a good evening there. 0537158638. And numbers is the numbers you can also join us here. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good
evening. Good evening, sir.
Because I feel Kumasi FM
okay.
The program say on one I said the Yama politics may be too much. Oh, and I need to know about see the you need be a which I need say mechanism party is not a mamona name you to know and I should be not a mamona papa so you to know it a dear ban and a how say Libra or private many you can name the Hawa as a NDP form as a propaganda, as a young young as a bisa. In the Akufa town, Memphis is a million or can minister financial. The Common and no private debt and Akufa municipal private debt business or below the and no one because it belongs to his family member and Mama so it belongs to his brother. So if the private debt, there is nothing wrong with it. So if them we don't want in a tumor and a tumor now and one metaphor.
Yes, here does say I'm sorry, Jumedie. So I will be moving any moment from now. Miracle, if you could do me a favor, there's a message on the screen. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, my brother. Nanaya Ochumesi, Yentio.
I say, President, no immediate no flight, no any come. And the president, and all president, and I get you can have just that you. It is a good more to find the art, so they will come from and would and I walk on what they want mine up, years to my and I said, all after 8 hours, it's $100 and not $200. That's a woman for or a man for mine. I don't think this is a conflict of interest. That's just not a word and your policy. And we are the name for another say, a policy good we are the name for another to see in what is the and you United States in your mind.
Yeah, so yeah, that was it. And enumerate so when you're afraid 053715. I'll do one call, I'll read my message, and then we can call it a night. 0537158638. Your numbers are also over to me and near attrition come up and enumerate. I pick my last call, I do my last message. Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Okay, I may end you.
Willie, what they done, no credit on my daddy in the country. The blame I was a father. I did not, I the president, Mohammed Yabain, what of that father did. Not that you are personal to and what of that is yet. Said, oh, the guy, no prayer, yet no crew. Okay, a book of high partner. War by the same thing, we can't say. I think without women that have one more than one asthma, but the open enough when they can be. Open enough when they are before it as to do the we get to play back. We play. Play, you know, a little of that you need to divide it in the so, it's the old one that we are that I'm going to get but no competition. And what you may have could not know about the war one of the why? It began for every idea, but he gets it and we get idea. And you won't be back in bed. Only fluffing, no, I know.
I say, have a great night. That happened to be my final call for tonight. Let me read the message. Say, my name is Sando Hassan from Northeast Region, a town called Yiribini. I'm a TESCON president at Martin Luther Health College, Kintampo. Please, the president, stop giving us excuses and concentrate on how to develop our country. The government led by the National Democratic Congress must urgently pay our hardworking cocoa farmers. These farmers are the backbone of Ghana's economy. They deserve timely payment for their sweat and sacrifice. Delayed payment affects their families, their farms, and the entire cocoa sector. I'm calling on the President, John Dramani Mahama, and his government to prioritize cocoa farmers and also ensure they are paid immediately. Respect and support for cocoa farmers means protecting the future of Ghana's agriculture. And that's how we end today's edition of the News Focus Tonight, live and direct from our studios on the 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate, Nungwa, Adogono. For more news, log on to MBN 360. A big thank you to my viewers, my callers, my texters. I really appreciate all of you. Not forgetting my team of cameramen and also floor managers, the PCR, the MCR, the sound, and the master control room. I said, thank you all. May the good Lord bless us. We'll be back again, God willing, tomorrow. We'll bring you more on the news night. But don't forget to join us tomorrow. In the morning, we'll bring you the morning focus. And we have the introduction of what is going on. Now, what's the saying? We'll be coming your way right after the sporting time. I'll bring you the word and then the African promise. My name is El Samuels. When you stop to say a prayer, say one for me. But don't forget to always say a prayer with every heartbeat. Good night.